Cass and Steve. Buckle up for the fun road.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
And good night.
Whenever you listen or wherever you are in this world. Hey, my name is Steve.
My name is Cass.
And welcome to...
The Fun Road.
I mean, that went all the way up. We've been laughing because we have a special song. If it is your birthday today, then this song is for you. Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy
birthday. Happy birthday.
Birthday.
I mean, I don't know why. Why do we think we're so funny?
Birthday. Because you think it's going to go in a totally different direction. It just ends.
Yeah.
Like
It's just, it's
happy birthday. It's like a little toad.
And it actually was born out of you really singing, and I tried to add, and I said, you said, go for it.
Happy
Birthday.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
this is the Fun Road podcast, and we talk about daily things that we experience and that we know that you experience at home as well. And we try to put it a little bit more in perspective and maybe put some...
A little sparkle of sunshine. I
Yeah.
have goobers in my eyes.
No. I mean, you just landed. We're in Barcelona right now. You landed this morning. You are probably exhausted. I mean, your husband and 2 kids are taking a nap right now. It's afternoon. We're going to go see a flamenco show tonight.
Yeah.
And you are just surviving.
But this is the trip I've been dreaming of.
Yeah, so...
I mean, how many times have I been in Barcelona now?
Yeah.
And I said, I just one day want to look to the left and look to the right and see my husband and kids. So
Let's toast on that.
Let's celebrate.
Oh.
I wish you could see our faces of just pure enjoyment.
I mean, we're just looking at each other's eyes
It's like-
with a face that is half sleepy, just as an open smile.
Punch
just-
drunk.
Oh, and then now yours. Oh.
Oh my gosh. So the thing is, I realized that I truly am an expert traveler. And the way I know that is that the second I hit that seat, I start adjusting to have the most sleep as possible. I don't turn on shows. I just knock out. And the thing is, this, I don't know if I should be admitting this, but I gave everybody sleeping pills.
You did?
Yeah, I said, guys, take this. And I fell asleep. 5 hours later, I look back, one seat behind me, and my children are just, their eyes are like,
They're
oh
just,
gosh.
oh God. They're just fighting not to fall
Yeah, I
asleep.
mean, it's like their eyes were turning into raisins, just dry. And they did not sleep until like an hour or two before we landed.
Oh no,
and
that's the worst.
I looked at them with just pure fury, like, why aren't you sleeping?
Yeah.
And then I went back to bed. But the truth is, I have a pillow that you gave to me when we were leaving Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah.
And you said, no, girl, you need this pillow. And it is like, it's like a neck brace pillow.
It
keeps you upright.
You got to learn to make your life, give your life the best quality possible. And this is something that I've learned so well. One day I was traveling with my niece. We got upgraded. We're sitting in business class. So they come with drinks and stuff like that. And my niece love to have a little glass of champagne or something. So everybody's drinking champagne. And people come and she says, no, I'm good, thank you. And I said, it was almost like she didn't want to accept what they were offering because she would think she would be more ordinary. And it's much cooler if you refuse.
Like, don't get too excited. Pretend like it's...
And I looked at her, I said, if people offer something, what I learned in life, you grab it with 2 hands, you thank them, you accept it.
Yeah. And you see if you can shove any extra in your bag.
Yeah, and you take an extra one for your bag. When people offer help, something else, whatever they think you need at that moment, I have learned to accept it. I have learned to say more, yes, I will. Thank you.
Yeah.
My man is horrible at it. Every time people want to help, no, 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 no. And I look at him and I said, all you say is always no, 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 because accepting something for you means a failure.
But you know, some of the best leaders in the world are the best delegators. You find a team of people who can do things for you so that you don't have to do it all on your own. I mean, Steve just turned into anger on Inside Out, Disney Inside Out.
I mean, look, and you know what he's going to do now?
He's going to go back to that
He's
door
gonna
and
ask to go out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a terrace and my dog loves to go out. Once he's out, I close the door. He just
Can I come
scratch,
in?
can I come back in? I leave him in, close the door, scratch, go out. I'm like, no.
Yep, he doesn't
Anyway.
know what he wants.
So today,
I'm a huge believer in that. And in fact, on the flight here, my kids all asked for the can. And I looked at the lady and I was like, I'm so sorry. They are children of a mom who travels all the time, who knows to ask for the can of pop, not just for one glass, because you're only getting 1/3 of a can. So that is 3 times the amount when you
and
ask
for somebody
the can.
who's a can addicted,
Mm-hmm.
so they all ask for a can.
Oh yeah, and I just looked at her and kind of embarrassed, like, sorry about that. Yeah, they said I'd like a can of Sprite. I'd like a can of ginger ale. And I just looked at her. Sorry, but she did it. She said, "Yeah, totally fine." Especially on international flights,
of course.
they're very good at giving you the can.
No, of course. International flights, you always get a can.
But they did it on the flight to Atlanta as well.
Yeah, but that's
and we go to the
4 or
Sky
5
Club.
hour
Yeah,
flight. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
true. But there is like a whole thought around that, and I think I've mentioned this before on one of the podcasts about people who don't like to take the snacks from like airplanes. And I don't always want the snack, but my favorite is when, like in Delta, they have economy comfort and they bring, instead of the big cart, they bring you a
yeah.
basket and they present the snacks to you. And they have different granola bars and peanuts and bananas and little cookie things.
And you always grab 2-3 things.
I
know.
grab 2 peanuts and a banana. And then I kind of make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in my mouth. Oh, it's so good. Think about it.
So you
I
bite the
crunch.
crunch the peanuts,
And then I take a bite of banana.
and then
I don't swirl it all together, but there's enough peanut residue that when you take a bite of banana, it still feels like that's a great combo.
yeah,
And it
cool.
feels kind of healthier.
You know what I love to do?
Tell me.
Dip my banana in Nutella.
Oh, yeah. But you leave so much banana residue in that jar. You know it.
Or I take like a spoon
Yeah,
and
there
I
you
scoop
go.
it up. Yeah.
I like to do that with speculoos.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And Nutella?
Oh, yeah. But Nutella, I love the flavor of speculoos more than Nutella.
Mm-hmm. You know what? It's even better
If
you take a sandwich and you do Nutella and then peanut butter crunchy on top of that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a Snicker sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Brian does peanut butter jelly and chips. It's good because it's almost like a salted caramel. Like you need that little touch of salt. And he's not the only one. You guys have to leave a comment if you also, on a peanut butter and Janelli, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, add an extra bit of salt, like a little hamster.
You know that actually the topic of today was something completely different. We haven't even started that
Let's go
topic.
for it.
Yeah. So the topic of today is 2 things. Me in the mirror. What do I see when I look in the mirror? What do I tell myself in the mirror? Versus what does my best friend see when he looks at me?
Yeah.
And I think it's very interesting
When
because
she looks at me.
she or he, I'm talking about you looking at me.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I'm not a she.
Yeah, but when you're referring it to yourself, you should say, what about when she looks at me?
Yeah, but my best friend is myself.
Yeah, well, we're getting to that.
Yeah, we're getting to that. Anyway, so it's actually 2 completely different versions because a lot of people look at themselves in the mirror and they can only say negative things. Once in a while, we got a lot of people, no, I compliment myself and I think I'm doing good. But this is so interesting that sometimes insecurity is planted by a comment of somebody stupid 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago. Somebody in school, on the road, at our work can say in one sentence something really stupid they don't even remember, and it plants that seed of insecurity.
Yeah.
And I want you to think about when you sometimes say something to yourself about, I don't know, physical comments, or you're not pretty enough, or your legs, or whatever it is that we tell ourselves. Why did it ever start? It was it somebody's comment years ago that is so insignificant, but is still there, and they don't realize at the moment they say it that they're actually planting this seed that we carry with us for the rest of our lives.
Yep. And in our Fun Road Live events, we dive deeper into this because it is such an important thing to get in control of. We
Yeah.
have so many limiting self-beliefs.
Yeah,
And so many times it's from something that happened
Yeah.
in grade school. You know, we think that
Crazy.
if we don't get a good score, we become, our teacher might say, put us down, or our parents might be disappointed. And all of a sudden we get this perfectionist mentality where
yeah,
anything lower than 100% is unacceptable.
yeah,
And we have these things where, depending on the scale, that number defines us, that number defines our day,
yeah,
and just the way that we conduct ourselves. And you might want to watch your thoughts a little bit when something doesn't go right. How far do you spin? Like, oh yeah, things never work out for me. Okay, where did that thought even come from? Why would you say that? Of course, there are plenty of things that have worked out in your favor. Why is it that we go always so negative for ourselves, and yet we can offer great advice
yeah.
to our friends, because what we
It's
see in our
crazy.
friends
Yeah,
is
yeah.
so much different.
It's almost like we can analyze our friends easier because we're looking at their situation in a more rational way
Yeah.
than an emotional way. The moment we get involved, very emotional for ourselves, all the clear decisions that we need to make or the clear view on that situation disappears.
Yeah.
I mean, we can give people always say, wow, my friend always gives me good advice, and we give good advice to our friends. And then when we look at ourselves, we sometimes get stuck in the same situation where we do not do the advice that we give other people. So
I know that, at least for women, there are a lot of topics that go around this. Women in the workforce is a big thing. They think they'll never amount to being a leader because of different pay cuts and who gets opportunity. And so I think that we tend to beat ourselves up on so many things. And there are times when I look in the mirror and I say, you know what, you're spinning in 100 different directions, and you're really not rising to the occasion on any of them. You're not really being the wife you want to be, or the mom you want to be,
Yeah.
or the business partner that you want to be. And you're just kind of sucking right now. And sometimes I am that person, but I have learned to change my thoughts and to recognize them. But you have to almost write them down on paper
It's-
to be able to see it.
you gotta laugh a little bit longer because otherwise it's too awkward.
Sucking.
Brian, do not cut this out. This is the fun part of it.
Only your brain.
Oh, you're the one who said it and started laughing.
I laugh because I know you.
Oh, that was all my fault.
It's
I didn't even say anything. I didn't even start laughing, and it's still my
It's
fault.
still your fault. You know, sometimes I'll tell Brian that I'm blaming this on you because I need someone to blame it on.
Yeah. You know, what I think you should do at home is I want you to grab a paper, pen and paper, and write down all the negative things that you tell yourself in the mirror. You're fat, you're ugly, you're not good enough, you don't matter, you will never succeed, you're a loser, you can't do this. All the things.
That outfit doesn't look
Yeah.
good. Your hair doesn't look good.
Yeah.
You look tired. You look old. You look washed up.
What are the things you're telling yourself? And then once you write it down, you can do whatever you want. Put a big cross through it, burn it, put it into, how do you say that?
Scrapping him up.
Say that again.
Put into a shredder.
Shredder or
Scrap it up. Crumple it.
crumple it. Is that
Rip
a word?
it. Tear it.
Tear it
scrap
apart. Tear it apart. And destroy it. And then you take a new piece of paper and you write down thinking about your best friend and how does your best friend describe you. So now I'm going to describe myself through the eyes of Cass,
Okay.
because you're my best friend.
That's right.
That's right. So Cass, you go first.
On what? How you think of
Yeah.
me?
Steve says this about me.
The truth is, you're the best at this. Steve thinks I'm pretty, that I'm in shape, that I could be on the cover of a fitness magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now say it again, those three things, but don't say Steve, say I.
But you also say that I'm smart
Do I?
every once in a while. You also say I'm dumb, but it's a joke. It has to balance it out. You say that I'm a good mom.
Okay, stop.
Okay.
There's now say those five. Do you remember? I see
Yeah.
you looking at your hands. Say them again, but now say them as an I.
I am pretty. And you actually, do you remember when you forced me to say it to myself like 5 times?
Yeah.
We were on FaceTime and I was like, ugh. And you're like, no, you are beautiful. Now I want you to look at yourself and say it 5 times. That I'm in good shape. I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm pretty. I'm in good shape. I could be the cover of a fitness magazine. I'm a good mom. And I'm the number 1 best friend in the world. What was the other one I forgot to put in there? Oh, I'm smart.
The ones you forget. Oh, it's true. I'm
I
smart.
have a great memory.
But doesn't that feel good?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah. What do I say about you?
Okay, so later you're going to do the exercise for yourself. So don't do it yet. Okay. Cass says that I have the Steve Jobs effect. Cass says that I inspire people. Cass says that I have good taste in outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Cass says I'm the best friend in the world. And Cass says that I'm a very good instructor.
Yeah. I also say you're super funny.
Okay,
Very smart.
but let's talk about those.
Handsome.
First, I'm going to say those again. So I am, what did I say again?
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, Steve, I have the Steve Jobs effect,
That's
which is
right.
like you walk into a room and you can inspire people to do.
Steve makes you feel like you can do anything. It's true. I see you do it to everybody. You do it to me.
I know I got a good taste in clothes. I'm a good instructor. I'm a very good best friend. And I can't remember. I'm funny.
I'm funny.
But you know, when you write it down, it makes more sense. So
Yeah.
I want you to do that at home. I want you to take a piece of paper, think of your best friend, and think about what your best friend, or even ask your best friend. I want you to
How would
write.
you describe me?
How would you describe me? What are my positive points? And then ask them to text it to you, and then read that text, but don't say you are or Steve is or Cass is, but say I am, and see how that feels. And this is what we call when you see yourself as your best friend, your own best friend.
And the truth is, we have so many people in our lives who find those good qualities in us. And we continue to carry our bad qualities around like this heavy burden, and really not being willing to accept our good qualities and have ownership over them. And I remember when I was really kind of struggling with my identity, I guess I put that caption on it. And I was struggling with my identity, and I wrote down what I felt my strong qualities were. And I wrote them down, and I read them and I reread them. And I don't always show up at that as that person all the time, but those qualities are within me. And if I tap into them, I can have more ownership of them. And I think sometimes we show up for other people much better than we show up for ourselves.
So when did you do that?
I'm trying to think. It was probably, I lived in this house. I think it was probably like maybe 6 years ago.
6. So what did you write down?
I wrote down that I'm brave and that I'm strong
Yeah.
and that I am like loyal, that I'm fun,
Mm-hmm.
that I can add energy,
Mm-hmm.
and that I am dedicated. Like when I
Yeah.
make up my mind,
Yeah. And you read them over and over and
Yeah.
over. And how did that feel?
amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just a reminder of
Yeah.
at that moment, maybe I wasn't being that. You don't always have to be brave. You don't always have to be strong. And I think
No.
sometimes you forget that those qualities are within you. And when my dad died, I had to prove to myself
Yeah.
who I was, because otherwise I was going to crumble. And it was either
yeah.
I fall apart at the seams, or I start to show up
Yeah.
for myself in a stronger way.
You got to think that sometimes life is like a road that you're taking, and there's so many streets left and right all the time, and a lot of them are these dark alleys.
Yeah.
And there's so many possibilities to go down a dark alley because it's called life.
Yeah.
We get into moments in our life where we want to just let go and just not be the brave and happy person that people always see, because of something happening in our life, because of we lost a loved one, or we're having a difficult time in relationship, job, with ourselves.
Yeah.
It's just learning how to constantly snap out of that.
Yeah.
You know, when you feel that coming, that you go, uh-oh, I can feel it. You got to find a way to just snap out of, reroute. And having a list like that where you read it loud is something that could keep you out of walking down that dark alley.
And time and time again, I'm so amazed at how the brain is. Because if you just say, oh, today just sucks, all day long, you will be finding ways to prove that theory right.
It's true.
But if you wake up and you're like, today is going to be an awesome day.
Yeah.
You can have honestly the same day, but what you see is entirely different.
Totally.
And the reason why we talk about how your best friend shows up for you is in life, the person you have to depend on most is yourself. And your best friend, the person that you show up for, the person that you protect and that you encourage, has to be yourself.
Yeah.
Because what if I'm having a moment and it's the middle of the night and I can't call you? You're in Barcelona. I got to show up for myself.
Well, in the middle of the night, you can call me, because then it's morning for me. Then
that's true. What if if it's past like 4 p.m.? Oh, you gone?
No more.
That's midnight.
Yeah.
I know I can call you until midnight.
Well,
I could still call you.
Yeah.
But when your thoughts go to dark places like those alleys, and you take a turn and you realize, ooh, this is not where I want to be. What is your exit strategy?
Yeah.
How do you metaphorically turn on the music and start pumping your fist in the air and get lost in the music?
The worst thing you can do is start listening to depressing music when you have a bad day. Oh,
the worst.
It just drags you right down.
I remember the songs I used to listen to when I got like dumped. Break my heart.
Oh,
say you
not that
love
one.
me again. Oh yeah, I mean,
I listen to.
I can't.
No.
live.
Okay, wait.
No.
I'm from another generation. You know.
I do know.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to find a song. So
Don't go breaking my heart.
No.
I couldn't if I tried. But misery loves company, and sometimes we're that miserable company to ourselves. Oh, I feel bad. let me turn on some depressing music so I can just really feel even worse.
So this was my song.
Oh, yeah. Is this a breakup song, though?
I don't know.
I think it's a love song. Before your touch. Oh, like in what movie is this on? Ghost.
Ghost.
And there's this weird
Used to
kind
lie
of
in my
Patrick
bed.
Swayze
Used to lie in my bed. The speaker was not on the wall, but I
right
had a
next
very
to your ear.
no. I had those big speakers that we used to have, like the
yeah,
one
like
there.
boom box. Like
Lie it in my bed under the duvet because otherwise everybody could hear it, and just listen to that song over and over on repeat.
I always think of like now that I'm a mom.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
nobody was ever home to listen to me listening to depressing music, and good thing because I would go into Dane's room and be like, "What is happening?"
You gotta let them experience.
Yeah, it's
that.
true. Oh yeah, for sure. But
There's gonna be a day that you walk in and you go like, "What is this depressing? What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Let them be.
Yeah.
Just go back to your kitchen and your heart is broken as a mom because your
can't
son's heart is broken because he just got maybe dumped by a girl, or and
do you know one of the
you don't want to
let me tell you one of the saddest things. Let me tell you, in high school I loved this guy. I mean, I just thought he was the cat's meow, and he was older than me and super cool. And anyway, broke up with me, like, I swear, a couple of days before Valentine's Day. So I show up to school on Valentine's Day, and there's a new girl that he likes. And between every period, we have this common area called the Commons. And it's like you kind of always have to walk through the Commons to get from one class to the next class.
Mm-hmm.
And every single period, every hour, I would see her with more roses. And he delivered roses to her one by one in every single period. And I just looked at her like,
"Those are mine, bitch."
"Hand me those roses." One hell.
Oh my God, you were heartbroken.
Oh, I was so sad. I was so sad and just like ashamed as well, just embarrassed. And it's like, "You know who those roses are from, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know exactly who those roses are from. The boyfriend I had last week."
Oh my God.
Isn't that awful?
Awful. And the thing that I had is that when I fell in love as a teenager, I couldn't show.
Yeah. It was just a hidden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You fell in love and you told nobody, not the person, and nobody. Yeah. Nobody knew. That's why music was
your release.
Yeah. And the first person I ever madly fell in love with, I'm not going to say it because nobody still knows, but he ended up being gay as well. And now we talk about it. And I said, "I had no idea." He said, "You had no idea?" I said, "No idea."
Did he know that you loved him?
Yeah. Madly waiting at school as a 14, 15-year-old boy.
And everything in the morning has to be like, okay, I got to get ready because I want to look a certain way because I want to run into them.
Yeah.
And I want to feel something.
Yeah. But I was the age of
Dane. Yeah.
When I was already madly in love.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's gonna happen today. He's gonna fall in love with a girl, and the girl is gonna say and it's gonna break his heart, and he's gonna have to find the right song.
That's right.
Anyway,
isn't music a great escape?
Yeah.
But
for anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's another episode, though.
Totally. So I want you guys to look at how you show up for yourself.
Yeah.
How do you show up for others? Are you good to yourself, and are you good to others? You know, my kids, they will do things to kind of pull each other down to make themselves feel better. And I always tell them, being mean to people, saying mean things only hurts your heart, does not hurt theirs. And you want to be a good person.
Yeah.
And when you're good to people, you can feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
And so how do you show up for yourself?
Yeah.
Because when you start to show for yourself, everything else falls in line
Yeah.
because you really learn how to care and love for somebody.
Yeah. There's actually something really cool happening in Belgium. They're trying to launch a complaint-free day, and it's going to be sponsored by the government.
Oh my gosh, I
So the-
have to be a part of
The
this.
the Minister of Health is going to sponsor to make really big posters and to do publicity of a day that people cannot complain. Isn't that just cool?
Wasn't it just recently that I read that study about when people have good connections with others, it's as good for your health
Oh yeah,
as somebody who smokes like 17 cigarettes a day and quits. I mean, it's that good for you.
Yeah, of course. It all makes sense. Say this 10 years ago, people look at you, think you're saying voodoo, and now
Yeah.
people go like, oh yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
mental health. Anyway, this is another episode. What we want you to do this week or whenever you're listening or today, send your best friend a text and say to them, hey, I got to do something for Cass and Steve. They
Yeah.
asked me to text you, who is my best friend. You are my best friend, to describe me just in 5-6 sentences. Let them send them to you. You rewrite what they text you, but you all rewrite it as I am, I am, I am. Put it on the fridge, repeat it, and see how that feels.
Take ownership in it and let it really become a part of who you are.
Exactly. Or you just come take a training with us with the Fun Row.
We'll slap it
Sorry.
right into you.
Oh, we'll drill you the whole day. You'll walk out and say, oh my God, this training is amazing. And actually, the next episode, keep an eye on it because we just did the Fun Row training in Utah. And we have a lot of feedback from the people that we would love to share with you. So tune in for our next episode. Go online to thefunrow.com, find a training near you, and
Don't forget to rate and subscribe and leave a comment. If you could do that for us, we would love you forever. Doesn't matter if you leave a rating. All we want is 5 stars. But the comments, let us know how you are making this your fun road, because this is all about how these tips can be brought into your life to make a difference. So thank you for tuning in. You guys are amazing.
big kiss to you all. And don't forget, we are also your best friends.
That's right. We're pretty good too.
Oh, yeah. Bye now.
Bye.
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 Bye. Get out of here.
You don't have to go, but you can't stay here.
Bye.
Bye.